Hashtag the greatest game ever. That's what everyone was saying after last night's Bills Chiefs matchup. But when the game ended in overtime, the trending topic quickly turned to change the overtime rules. I'm Ashley Nicole Moss. He's Robin Lundberg. And Robin, Josh Allen said he's not going to complain about the overtime rules because, and I quote, if the game was reversed, we would be celebrating right now. And that's okay, Josh Allen, because I'm going to do the complaining for you. Now, this is a situation where two things can be true at the same time. Yes, the defense should have played 13 seconds of defense. That was your only job. Your quarterback handled everything else, brought you almost to a win, 36-33 when it came to that 13-second mark. So the defense did not handle business. But that does not negate the fact that the overtime rules in the NFL are absolutely archaic. It's putting too much equity in a coin toss, and it's also putting too much equity in the last defense that was on the field. The Bills' defense was gassed. Now, that's not to say the Bills would have won the game in overtime if the rules were changed, but at least put the ball back in Josh Allen's hands. 329 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 0. He went into Arrowhead and did not mess up once. You got to give him a chance to go ahead and make something happen for his offense. And if he doesn't, okay, but you got to let him try. I'm all for the college overtime rules because the way the NFL is moving, this is just not going to cut it.
Wah, wah, wah is all I hear. I am so sick of the crying about the overtime rules today. The overtime rules, the coin toss, did not beat the Buffalo Bills. Patrick Mahomes did. 13 seconds left. You have to get a stop if you're a defense. Overtime, you can get a stop if you're a defense. It's not as if these rules just came into existence yesterday. We all knew what the overtime rules were going in. Now, if you want to argue about them and their merit, I can see both sides. I can see playing an extra period. Also, I can see the way they are, bringing some extra variables, some tough luck aspect into it. But for last night's game, you had transcendent quarterback play. We will never see quarterbacking at that level again. Mahomes and Allen were as good as it gets. To me, that was the two best players in the NFL going head to head. And yeah, I feel for Josh Allen. But guess what? Josh Allen elevated himself in an L. People feel more strongly about how good he is today than they did before that game. As far as the result afterwards, it just sounds like a lot of people who wanted the Bills to win who are spilling their tears today.
I'm going to agree with you on some things. I agree that Josh Allen, if you did not think he was that guy, he changed your mind in that game because that was one hell of a performance. He was cool. He was collective. He was the leader that the Bills need and they deserve. And he's going to be part of this franchise for a very long time. It was probably one of the best football games I think I've ever seen in my entire life or in a very long time. But again, does not negate the fact that the rules are archaic. It has nothing to do with the Bills. It has nothing to do with the Chiefs. There have been many instances where this overtime rule situation in the NFL has watered down the product, has left you with a bad taste in your mouth, if you will. It's like going to a restaurant and everything is great and you get to dessert and it just does not hit. It is defeating the entire purpose of you going out to eat. And it should be noted that the Chiefs in 2019 wanted to change the overtime rules and everybody was against them. Maybe now people's minds are starting to change, but it's not like it's such an asinine idea that it was never thought of or it has to do with complaining. The Chiefs themselves wanted to change it because there's a lot of things that work against you in the way that the overtime rules are constructed. A coin toss is ridiculous. And also, as we saw, the Bills defense, because they lost the coin toss, they just happened to pick the wrong side of the coin, didn't have a substantial amount of time between the end of regulation and to overtime to get that rest. Had the Chiefs had to go ahead and defend Josh Allen, maybe we would see a different type of result in this game. You don't know, but you got to put the ball in both quarterbacks' hands before you can go ahead and rule a winner. It's just not fair. I'm not saying to play a full 15 minutes, but you got to at least give both quarterbacks a time to shine and make something happen for their offense.
Look, if they had such a reason to complain, they could have voted to change it when the Chiefs, raised that issue. But the reason the Bills defense couldn't rest is because they let the Chiefs score in 5 seconds every time. This is supposed to be the number one defense in the NFL. 13 seconds. You're ahead with 13 seconds left. You have to win the game. And when you get to that, you start nitpicking stuff, like not squib kicking it in that instance. Special teams and defense are a part of the game, not just quarterback play. and not just offense. And the defense did not come up and make the plays that they needed to play. And to win that game. And a coin toss, that's been a part of football. It's part of who decides who gets it. That's why you bet on it at the Super Bowl. It's helped decide overtimes for years now. I just don't know why yesterday all of a sudden people are making this case when the guy you're looking at, his face right there is the difference, because 13 seconds is too much for Patrick Mahomes.
In all fairness, I don't think anyone was just trying to change it yesterday. But look, 13 is my lucky number, but I can tell you it's not the Bills' lucky number.